Righty, how is it going, ladies and gentlemen? You're gonna have to bear with me, my voice is sort of like half there at the moment. Bit of a sore throat, so I sound like... It's probably quite a weak sounding voice, put it that way. But I got a pretty cool match here against someone called July or Julie. I'm not entirely sure when I got this game, so I'm not really... Like, I don't remember the player's username, but if it's you, let me know and I'll add your link to the video description. First turn, I'm going to go ahead and lead off with my, I think, Aurorus, because it seemed like a pretty good lead. I mean, generally, like, even if it's something like Greninja, which is a pretty common lead, Aurorus is actually a pretty solid lead in most cases because it's so bulky. And you can paralyze or get off a powerful ice hit, whatever. Unfortunately, this thing, Lantern, is an absolute troll. Like, it is a complete cockblock to my Aurora set. I have Nature Power, which is essentially Ice Tri-Attack, Ancient Power, which is unfortunately the strongest rock move it gets on the special side, T-Wave, which obviously will just give it health back, and then, what's my last move? Flash Cannon or something, which it quad resists, so that thing's going to be a bit of a problem. This Espeon, not really too worried about it, although I do have a Steelix, which obviously wants to get at rocks at some point. I do go into said Steelix because it can take on Espeon extremely well. It can take on any hit from it, or, you know, hit it back with an Earthquake or something. Now this thing actually has Baton Pass. Now, I wasn't sure why I had this to start with, but then I remembered that it was quite... I think it was quite a common tactic to carry that on Espeon, just to get away from, like, Pursuit Trappers, that kind of thing. Because Baton Pass, like, for that and Celebi, it's really good just for escaping Scizor or Pursuit Traps, that kind of thing, but... Yep, here's Donphan. I just get at my rocks here, even though it almost definitely has the Rapid Spin. And now I go into my Heracross thinking that most Donphan tend to carry, like, Rapid Spin, Stealth Rock, and then 2 attacks, which are normally EQ and Ice Shard. However, this one has the Toxic, which is unfortunate because I'm not a Guts variant, I have Moxie, and this is my Mega Heracross set, which still has yet to serve me well. In my head, it was a really good idea for a set. It has SD, 2 nice powerful attacks, and then Feint is like the priority move. But in reality, you normally need to get up to like +3 or +4 before Feint has any killing potential, really. But, you know, I'm going to switch out here. I don't know why I went for an SD when this thing was still hanging around, because Arcanine is naturally faster. Just going to sack my Steelix here. Don't really need it. It's sort of the most expendable thing at this point. Now, if I can prevent that thing from rapid spinning, the Donphan, that's going to be great, but I don't have a ghost type, so the chance of that actually happening, don't know, pretty slim, probably. This thing comes back in. Once again, I think my only ground type move was on Steelix, and obviously Lantern would beat Steelix in the one-on-one anyway, so, you know, it's a bit of an awkward sort of situation for my team. Got a Heracross on the Go-Goat as it goes for a Leech Seed, which is quite bad for me in this sort of situation. This Donphan is going to wall me completely, and with the Leech Seed recovery and the Citrus Berry, it's not looking good. This is pretty much a guaranteed Rapid Spin for her. So I gotta switch, go into the big frozen dinosaur, which is now called Fossilized. Fossilized. I literally typed in Ice Dinosaur into Google, and I got some result from Amazon or something. Apparently it's like an ice cube tray in the shape of dinosaurs called Fossilized. So I thought, yes, I have to steal that. So from now on, I'm going to hopefully have everything with these witty / stolen nicknames, like Fossilized, of course. You got to have your nicknames. What's the point in using Pokemon if you don't give them nice nicknames? This thing comes in. I don't know much about sort of UU, OU sort of territory. I think this thing was sort of borderline the whole time through Gen 5. But I know this thing gets close combat. I think it's the only flying type that does get close combat? Maybe there's something I'm missing, but either way, Staraptor's good. You definitely do not want to mess with that. So go to Starmie, take that pretty well, and just go for that Scald on the switch. Was really hoping for the burn, but, you know, what can you do? It's only 30%. And this Lantern, like I said, Lantern is a big thorn on my side. The Starmie is special defensive, but I really have nothing to hit this thing in return. So my best switch is always going to be Heliolisk, because I take T-Wave, I take Scald, I take any electric attack, and even Ice Beam isn't going to be doing that much, so... Focus Blast misses, whatever, would have done a little bit of damage, but I don't know if it would have been too significant. And now she switches into the Espeon once again. Now, obviously knowing I'm probably Choice Scarf to this point, I don't know if I revealed that, but I think there was a point earlier where... Yeah, because I think I outsped this Espeon at some point, and I want to say Espeon's faster, but again, don't quote me, I don't know Espeon's exact speed. But regardless, go back to Aurorus. I didn't want to go to Starmie because that seemed too obvious. And Aurorus, yeah, it's my second best sort of hit taker at this point, so go for that big Ancient Power, which does about 5% or something to this Lantern. Hoping for the Giga Boost, you know, fingers crossed, hope for that big +1 and everything, but it's 10%. How often is that going to happen realistically, you know? Scald actually does very little damage, but really this is just sort of like a slugfest between Lantern and Aurorus, which he would win in the long run, or she rather, it's a female Lantern. Lantern would win in the long run, but honestly, like, I've got off enough damage to where I feel like I'm going to switch out, go to Heliolisk on this turn, and she'll probably keep going for Scald. No! She knows what I'm doing! She knows the exact point at which to go for Volt Switch. And I'm getting massively outplayed here by this Troll Lantern. Back in comes the Arcanine. Gets the Intimidate, so... I assume that Intimidate is normally run on defensive sets and Flash Fire on the offensive sets, but... Well, to be honest, I'd run Intimidate regardless, but... E-Speed was not a thing I was expecting, is the point I'm trying to drive home here. Probably the lefties, or lack thereof, should have given that away, but I lose Heliolisk. That is a big loss in terms of dealing with the Staraptor, which, to my knowledge, is normally run with a Choice Scarf, which is going to be a big problem because I would need Scarfed Heliolisk to actually outspeed that thing, so... The crit on the Scald there may or may not have mattered. It does mean that she can go into Go-Go and finish me off, although I guess if the crit hadn't happened, she could have easily gone to Staraptor or something and just finished me off, so probably not a big deal. Go for the close combat. I want to say I predicted the switch, but honestly I thought that Go-Go was like the same typing as Sawsbuck. Apparently it's just pure grass, but you know, I guess it works out either way. Pin Missile or close combat would have killed it either way. So I get that Moxie boost. And as much as I would have loved to go for an SD there, I wasn't sure that she would actually switch there, you know? So in comes the Staraptor. I'm just going to Mega Evolve. I may as well do something with this +1 Heracross. So Mega Evolve, get that attack stat up to base 180 or whatever, and go for the Feint. Feint unfortunately is piss weak. It's only about 30 base power, but in fairness, a +1, like only a +1, and that did maybe 30-40%, so it's not bad. I can see some potential there if you were to get up a couple of Moxie boosts, or even like an SD, and just finish off really weak stuff, like maybe a Talonflame that's just switched into Stealth Rocks. You'd be able to finish off and out-prioritize, so... In comes the Go-Go. Go for a Scald. I guess she switched there thinking that it wasn't worth the risk of losing Staraptor to my Starmie. I mean, I'm especially defensive, so I don't know how well I would have taken that, but... Go to Hawlucha, because there is nothing Go-Go can do, unless it has, I don't know, Sleep Powder or Stun Spore. Does it learn those? I have no idea. It's a grass goat thing. I know it gets Milk Drink, which is sort of quite funny that there's only just introduced another Pokemon that gets Milk Drink, but... Yeah, Go-Go's a pretty cool guy. I'm going to try and get myself a shiny Skiddo sometime. Train one up, you know what I'm saying? Go for the Fling, get my Hardstone off or whatever, and now I'm pretty much free just to go for, hopefully, a late game comeback sweep. I can kill this thing with Acrobatics, no problem. In comes the Arcanine. Yeah, he gets the Intimidate off, but E-Speed isn't going to kill from there, and I can just go for that high jump kick and take it out. And now all that's left is Staraptor, and if Arcanine died from that sort of range of HP, Staraptor's pretty much going down as well, so... Outspeed it, go for the high jump kick, and Elo's infamous curse comes into play. I miss the high jump kick, and that means I die to a Brave Bird. But what can you do? That's high jump kick. You gotta, you know, you win some, you lose some. It's high jump kick, what do you expect, you know? It's gonna happen once in a while. So now, my last hope lies in Starmie, the special defensive wall of my team, which unfortunately cannot take a, I assume, Reckless boosted Brave Bird from this Staraptor. I don't know if it's Scarfed or Banded. I'm going to assume Choice Scarf, but like, Reckless Raptor does a load of damage to anything really, so... Yeah, basically Starmie dies and that thing has like a tiny bit of HP left. If I'd have kept Rocks up, that would have been great, but... I guess Donphan, like, stopping Donphan from rapid spinning is pretty hard when you don't have a ghost type, you know? Right, but that was a great game. Good game, July, or whatever your username is, let me know. I'll add it to the description, like I said. And with that being said, I will see you all next time. Goodbye.